Do you want to help strengthen this channel? It's easy. When making your purchases, use the provided links in the description of which we are affiliates. Every small gesture is very valuable to us.
Probably there's nobody in the country who doesn't know about Ramdev, we will leave him alone. But what Acharya Ji has created in this country, in the form of this Patanjali brand, in a matter of just about probably 12 years or 13 years, it's become one of the biggest brands in the country, bringing a totally new dimension to India's business. Over $2 billion business, and see, he's the CEO, look at him.
CEO without salary.
So, CEO without salary, CEO without suit, without jacket and without tie. This is an exemplary model of a Desi company, an Indian company really doing well. It is something that the business community in the world, particularly in India, has to learn, that with such simplicity, but with absolute devotion towards what you're creating, what can be created is so phenomenal. In this FMCG arena where they are, as far as I know, I don't think no company in the country in a matter of 10-12 years' time has become a $2 billion company as they have become. And they have the largest food processing industry in the world. Everybody knows these things, but what people do not know is, I had the privilege of visiting their lab, what they're creating there. They have kind of documented 72,000 medicinal plants, which has never been done before in a most scientific manner. All this, look at the simplicity, one man is shirtless, another man like this. This man is production and execution, this man is marketing. This is something that India has to learn from. I've been speaking about this, but these are exemplary models of that to run major businesses, you don't have to strangle yourself with a tie. What you're seeing here, I believe, is the future of India's business houses. I'm taking the liberty of inviting Acharya Balakrishna Ji. This year it's all fixed up, but 2019, the Insight, which is a business meet, where we have had people like Ratan Tata, Narayan Murthy, K.V. Kamath and many others. Almost all the top corporate leaders have been here. Next year, he's coming here as the corporate leader.
When I first heard about you many years ago, I rolled my eyes and I muttered something about guru types. And until few months ago, when my sister gave me your book, Inner Engineering, which happens to be New York Times bestseller, it changed my perspective. Honestly, if it wasn't New York Times bestseller book, I would have not read it. What is it about the West, this West stamp that we can't do without it? I mean, there are so many books, and unless Americans don't approve of it, it just doesn't make sense. Why is that?
So, we've still not gotten out of that Firong syndrome, it has to come from there. Today, why do you think so many people are talking about yoga? The yoga they're talking about in India is largely a rebound from the American coast. They're not talking about the yoga that is here. This is the source of yoga.
That brings to me a question about our roots ingrained in yoga and spirituality. But where has it got us as a nation, as a country, as a continent?
But let's understand this very clearly. Here we always focused on individual development. Because without creating great human beings, there is no great nation, there is no great culture, there is no great world. World, nation, society, these are just words. It's just you and me. What kind of people we are, that's the kind of society, that's the kind of nation, that's the kind of world we will live in. So we always focused on individual development. In this we produce stellar human beings, absolutely fantastic human beings for thousands of years, who created a fantastic culture.
Sadhguru, these days, the common discussion which is going on is again about the refugees. They are coming in millions and millions and millions, where our own are starving.
We are trying to project our inefficiency as compassion. I don't like that. We don't know how to man our borders, but we are talking about compassion, that's not the truth. When somebody comes to the nation's door because they are violently persecuted somewhere, we should treat it differently. After all, they are human beings. But for economic well-being, people are daily porous borders, people are going across here and there, we need to do something about it. If you just allow people and give them ration cards and identity cards simply without any accounting, this is going to be a disaster. This will lead to all kinds of problems in future. You cannot run a nation without knowing who is in this country. If you want to be really inclusive, we can make the two countries into one. Yes. We can make Bangladesh into a union territory and make it a part of this country. If you're ready for that, I think India is ready for that. If you talk about inclusiveness, that's a way to include, isn't it? Not slipping into my house from the back door and saying, include me, it's not going to work.
Okay, now we'll move to your favorite topic.
What is that? I didn't know you figured out all those things.
Okay, now we move to Shiva.
Oh.
So Shiva is what I got from reading about it and doing my practices and spending time with you. Shiva is not somebody looking, like sitting up there and looking at all of us. Shiva is a dimension. It is what they say in science, a black hole where nothingness seems to be the origin of universe. But okay, tell me that so Adi Yogi, the very first yogi, was somebody who has access to that dimension. So why is it that you are obsessed with Adi Yogi? Isn't it like making it about the container and not the contained? Sadhguru, isn't it like that?
Till now I've not said a word about him, you brought him.
No, but you've made the sculpture of Adi Yogi and you…
Yeah, it's only 1.5 years old, but you're not checking what I was doing these 36 years. Let's come to that, that's fine. See, about Adi Yogi is not an obsession, or the Adi Yogi is a plan. You talked about nothing. If you want to understand nothing, you must put a hyphen between no and thing. It's not a thing. That doesn't mean it does not exist. Now, science is talking about no things. That means non-physical dimension of existence, something that is not a thing, but still a powerful force. The source of all that exists here as physical stuff essentially comes from that which is not a thing, or no thing, or Shiva.
So my last question is, Sadhguru, that about our youth. Apparently the statistics say that every 1 hour, actually less than an hour, a young person below 25 is committing suicide. Why is that?
Suicide is not a pleasant thing. You must look at what psychologically that person goes through to come to that decision. It's the most horrible part of one's life, where somewhere they feel so trapped, either by physical situations, financial situations or emotional situations, so absolutely trapped when there is no other way. This is when they take that kind of violent exit which you call as suicide. Why is this happening? You must understand, in this country, in 2017, 7,600 children below 15 years of age have committed suicide. Below 15 years of age, when they must be bursting with life and wanting to live. Below 15 years of age, if they want to commit suicide, what is it? We are somewhere driving ourselves to a certain desperation. One big cause for all this is education system. So youth means an exuberant energy. But most of the time, the problem with the youth is they don't have the necessary clarity nor balance. We are launching a campaign called Youth and Truth in the month of September. We are doing events across the country in various universities. We expect you and all your friends in the industry and in the media, please be a part of it. Such a large youthful population, without necessary clarity, without competence, without balance, they could be the biggest disaster on the planet. But if we organize this well, we could be the greatest miracle in the world.
My message to all the youth who are going to participate in this, you can ask Sadhguru all kind of questions, about monthly cycles, about sex, drugs, all the scandalous questions.
This is being pitched as Youth and Truth, unplug with Sadhguru, ask whatever you want.
Ask whatever you want.
Nothing is a taboo.
The genetic material in your system, it will get weaker. The moment you make the next generation less than who we are, we have committed a crime against humanity. You always believe once you have land, it is for generations. Well, it is not so right now. Land may become a liability if we don't take care of the soil. Land will not be an asset. It will be a terrible liability if you do not take care of the soil. There is enough scientific study to today tell you your body and my body, how strong it is, not just of muscular strength, essential strength in the body of our existence. This is determined by the kind of soil not only that you eat from, the kind of soil that you walk upon. The genetic material in your system, it will get weaker. If the soil gets weak, there is substantial study to suggest this. Now, what we are talking about is making the next generation less than who we are. The moment you make the next generation less than who we are, we have committed a crime against humanity. Next generation should be one step ahead of us, not behind us. But this is what we are doing because once the soil becomes weak, the very genetic material becomes weaker than the way it is. The way it was given to us by our parents, we are not passing that on because we are walking and living on a soil which doesn't have strength. Because this body is just the soil that we walk upon, isn't it? So, problems, everybody generally knows what is the problem. Right now you have land, you have no trees, you have no animals. How will the organic material go into it? The only two ways is the leaf of the tree and the waste of the animals. This is the only way you can enrich the land. Domestic animals, there must be enough animals to enrich the soil. Otherwise soil will die. Here in a coffee plantation, you have enough trees always standing because you need the shade for your crops. So there is substantial leaf material falling, there is humus. Please just drive down, not even to Mysore, drive down to K.R. Nagar and just look at the soil, how it is, it's dead or not? Huh? You look at the soil here, walk into the mountains, pick up a fistful of soil, go down to K.R. Nagar or Mysore, pick up a fistful of soil. You will see it's really dead.
So the idea is to bring focus to soil, everybody that you can influence. From 21st of March, for 100 days, we want everybody to talk about soil for 100 days on the planet. So we're bringing together lots of influencers, scientists, political leaders, heads of state, UN agencies, everybody together, so that the world's conversation for 100 days will be about soil. Whatever you write, any message, your email, WhatsApp, TikTok, whatever you do, you must sign off Save Soil. The whole world should talk soil because if we don't talk soil right now, if we do not shift the narrative in that direction, we will be very sorry. Every responsible scientist in the world is clearly saying by 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our population will be over 9 billion people, all right? That's not a world you want to live in, where there are food shortages, 40% food shortage and increased population is not a world you want to live in, is not a world in where you want to leave your children. So we can change that right now by shifting the narrative towards soil. Let's make that happen.
See you soon for more discoveries and learning. Don't forget to subscribe and invite your friends to be part of this community of mutual growth.